I'm concerned about Americans' retirements being used for purposes other than analyzing risk in return. And in particular, we see a duopoly of proxy advisors who I think have a disproportionate voice in the voting of shares as more and more Americans are turning to index funds, passive investments, in particular through asset managers across our country. And if I can, Mr. Cunningham, with you, is we've seen a spike in shareholder proposals. Fund managers seem to be relying more and more on this duopoly of proxy advisors, in particular ISS and Glass Lewis, which dominate the industry. And the impact that that's having, my legislation, and I think a really important piece that I've been working on, is that there should be more transparency as it relates to the process with which these proxy advisors are reaching their conclusions. Do you think there's a reason that these proxy advisors shouldn't have to disclose their internal methodologies and the staff qualifications that they have as they're making these recommendations? So I was looking at you, Mr. Allen, and I'm asking Mr. Cunningham, but we'll start with Mr. Cunningham, I'll come back to you, Mr. Allen.
No, thank you very much. I think the rise of the proxy agents, proxy advisors was a response to the explosion of index fund investment. The index fund business model prevents those firms from studying every company and evaluating every subject. So the proxy advisors grew up to provide that service, and initially it was an attractive thing to do. But they're unsupervised, unregulated. They owe no fiduciary duties to American investors. They have no obligation to disclose conflicts of interest they see. They have no obligation to explain why their recommendations are in the best interest of investors. They're not required to fact-check their recommendations with companies. So
you think all these things that they should have to do these? I take it from your comments, right?
Yes, and the Congress has studied this industry for 13 years.
Is there a reason that Chairman Gensler struck down the rule made under Clayton that was reviewed, analyzed, to put these proxy advisors into a form where they would have to disclose? Is there a reason that Gensler should have done that other than to try to continue to allow these proxy advisors to hide what they're doing from the American people?
Well, I supported the 2020 rule revision, which was hard fought and a compromise with the proxy advisors.
I think it should have gone farther, but should Gensler have struck it the way that he did?
Well, it was a compromise, worked out over a long period of time, and it was a surprise that Chairman Gensler...
You'll take it as a surprise. I'll take it as a bad action. Mr. Allen, do you think that Chairman Gensler should have struck the rule on proxy advisors to bring them into the light rather than allow them to continue to not have to disclose their methodologies and practices?
No, I supported the...
No, let me come to Mr. Allen here. Sure. on that.
No, we completely disagree with the SEC's action to reverse the 2020 rules. We think there was no new circumstances, no new facts, other than just opponents of the rules, weren't happy with them.
Good morning, friends. This is breaking news. The Internal Revenue Service has just made an important announcement. The agency has unveiled its new campaign and what changes Americans can expect to see with their taxes. New laws and tax credits are also beginning to take effect. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for all of the information. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community, I will be announcing several winners tomorrow for the Walmart gift card giveaway. My friends, please make sure that you enter these giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. So friends, according to officials, most taxpayers will be able to digitally submit a slew of tax documents and other communications to the IRS next filing season. This news comes as the agency aims to go completely paperless by 2025. The effort to reduce the exorbitant load of paperwork that has plagued the agency, dubbed the Paperless Processing Initiative, was just announced by Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and IRS Commissioner Daniel Werfel. The effort is being financed through an $80 billion infusion of cash for the Internal Revenue Service over 10 years under the Inflation Reduction Act, although some of that money is being cut back. Janet Yellen has told reporters, "Thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act, We are in the process of transforming the IRS into a digital first agency. But of course, taxpayers will always have the choice to submit documents by paper. Most people will be able to submit everything but their tax returns digitally in 2024. And as the IRS pilots its new electronic free-file tax return system starting in 2024, the processing change is expected to cut back on the $40 million per year that the agency spends storing more than 1 billion historical documents. The Federal Tax Administrator receives more than 200 million paper returns, forms, and pieces of mail, and non-tax forms annually. Roughly 213.4 million returns and other forms were filed electronically in fiscal year 2022, which represents 81.2% of all filings. Coupled with decades of underfunding, an overload of paper documents has prevented the agency from processing tax forms at a faster pace in years past. The new initiative should allow the agency to expedite refunds by several weeks. This past June, National Taxpayer Advocate Aaron M. Collins said, "The IRS cut its backlog of unprocessed paper tax returns by 80%, from 13.3 million returns at the end of the 2022 filing season to 2.6 million at the end of the 2023 filing season." The federal tax collector's funding is still vulnerable to cutbacks. House Republicans built a $1.4 billion reduction to the IRS into the debt ceiling and budget cuts package that was passed by Congress this summer. The White House said the debt deal also has separate agreements to take $20 billion from the IRS over the next 2 years and divert that money to other non-defense programs. Thanks to a combination of new models, more production, and new tax laws, electric vehicles are no longer just for the wealthy. While the average sale price of a new vehicle, gasoline or electric, hovers around $48,000, automakers like General Motors, Ford, Kia, and Volkswagen have all introduced a variety of electric vehicles that come in significantly below that figure. But there are ways for car shoppers to take advantage of tax credits on electric vehicles without having to worry about arcane rules around battery sourcing and limits on the buyer's personal income. Due to a quirk in America's tax laws, if the vehicle is being leased rather than purchased, the full $7,500 tax credit can be used for most new electric vehicles. The vehicle doesn't have to be built in the United States, nor do the batteries. The difference is the tax credit goes to the leasing company, which is really the purchaser of the vehicle, not to the person who has a vehicle in their driveway. According to experts, because it's been purchased by a company, any car you lease is a commercial vehicle and gets the benefit of the more lax tax rules for commercial vehicle purchases. The credit can then be passed along in the form of lower lease payments, so the consumer still gets the benefit. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Thursday. My dear friends, thank you so much for joining me here and for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I will be announcing several winners tomorrow for the Walmart gift card giveaway. My friends, if you would like to enter these weekly giveaways, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.